Electric Fire Chapter 15 Absolute Chaos.
After getting into the house, I found Shadow curled up in a corner hugging Ozzy, trying to stay calm. Drones were in front of him, snuck up behind them slowly. I didn't dare to let my emotions to get the better of me. I didn't want to get caught by these things. Their lasers were pointed at Shadow. He stayed behind Ozzy. The dog was growling at the drone. Some lasers were pointed at him as well. I knew I had to act, not wanting to lose them. I've grown to like Ozzy even if he's the Donut Lord's best animal friend. I didn't care anymore now that I'm more like a family member to him and Pretzel Lady. Ozzy showed his teeth a bit while he growled at the drones. This was the first I've seen him get defensive. Dogs are known for their loyalty to their owners, but who knew that would go for space hedgehogs as well? Shadow held onto Ozzy for dear life at the moment, but he wasn't harming Ozzy. I could hear more drones coming down from my room. I had to act fast by closing the ladder to stop them from entering from there. I had a feeling they'd find my bag of rings though while they're stuck in my room, but then the room turned a bright red. I looked back to see that Shadow's fur was an even brighter red color. He was still holding onto Ozzy. I stayed back knowing Shadow was about to unleash his energy, and so he did within the words of Chaos Blast! The energy grew into one agonizing blast. The drones were caught in it. I could feel the energy from where I stood. The blast knocked the drones down. One flew toward me, but I dodged it. None of them moved once Shadow was normal. He got up and let go of Ozzy. Ozzy shook himself off. He was fine, then he went to the couch and laid down. The blast left a couple marks on the ceiling and the floor, but I thought that those could easily be washed away with a rag mixed in soapy water. Shadow just looked at me saying nothing, but then he held up something in his left hand, my bag of rings. I rushed over to him and hugged him. He kept them safe from gun at least. Though if he were captured, it would have been a different story. Shadow didn't say anything. He returned the hug. He probably felt bad about whatever had happened. The drones in my room left after the entrance. The house was blocked off. I wondered what had occurred after I'd left, but I didn't want to ask at the moment. Shadow was pretty shook still about the drones and being cornered. The blast was a lot more stronger this time than the first time he used it. His power level must have risen a bit since he's been out of isolation, or maybe they're emotion-based like mine, or maybe something else.
Good timing, Sonic. Those things got in a couple minutes ago. I went for your rings after I heard noises in your room, and while those things found me back down here, I got cornered and Ozzy ran to me after seeing that I was in trouble. I did knock a couple out upstairs, but soon there were too many to fight. They're pretty fast.
Then we both heard a truck pull up into the driveway. I ran to go see who had pulled up. It was Tom. Tom's back. I looked back at Shadow, but he was gone. When I looked back at Tom's truck, he was there near the driver's side door. The door opened. I could tell they were talking now. Ozzy walked over to me and gently nudged me, wanting to be pet.
I get my turn back. Not that I care. Anyway, here we go onto my side of the story. I told Tom about my little incident with the drones. I left some marks from unleashing a lot of energy on some drones. The drones seemed to have disappeared, though maybe they went back to gun. My powers were getting a bit stronger since I've been set free. At least my inhibitors keep me from using too much of the energy, but I am a bit unstable. My Chaos Blast is anyway. It feeds off my anger, and while the greater the anger is, the more powerful the blast is. Being cornered made me feel angry, not because I was almost defenseless, but I also got flashbacks on what had occurred back on the Ark. Rhea died because of one of the soldiers that worked at gun. I was captured because I was weak from crashing to the earth. I was defenseless. I had nothing left to lose after I crashed. My whole family was gone. All I have left to defend was these four. Rouge Tails and Omega are already safe, but right now I have to protect Tom, Sonic, Natty, and Ozzy.
It's all right, Shadow. I'm sure the marks can be cleaned out.
Tom tried to reassure me as we both walked to the house. I knew that, but I was more concerned over finding safety. Sonic was petting Ozzy when we went inside. He was also telling him he was a good boy. The dog licked him in response. Sonic laughed a little uncomfortably.
Well, at least you two are getting along now. I used to be jealous over Ozzy since he was my best animal friend.
Tom knelt down beside Sonic and Ozzy before patting Sonic on the head gently.
I was a little jealous, but that was before you let me stay here.
Sonic was purring a little bit. Tom got up after a minute and looked back at me.
Well, how about you shopping? You and Sonic probably need a disguise, and Sonic, I know, the one used at the bar that one time.
Sonic got excited about going to a store. I wasn't sure since someone could probably call me in if I was seen.
No pants though, Tom. Furs like the comfiest pajamas you wear, but I'll wear a shirt and maybe a hat.
Tom just looked back at Sonic and gave him a smile.
I know, Sonic. Want to go with us, Shadow?
Tom then looked back at me. I nodded. Honestly, I wanted to go. Maybe a disguise wouldn't be so bad, even if it is somewhat poor. At least I could probably wear some sunglasses. I wasn't picky when it comes to shirts, though. I'd like to have my chest stick out a little bit at least.